Thank you for your time. How's life?
Good. I'm down in West Cork at the moment.
Oh, lovely.
So that's funny. I don't know if my brother is coming on this or not, but we'll see. He might
Yeah,
just pop in.
I thought it was Andrew. I was expecting Andrew, but whoever's
Well,
available.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The email I
Well,
got
now it's
was,
me.
I'll send this to Andrew. So it's all good. I mean, I don't mind. I really appreciate you talking to us on a what's it, a
No
Wednesday
problem at
afternoon.
all. No
So,
problem at all.
so yeah, it's quite a busy time for you guys. How's life treating the band and everything that's going on at the moment?
Yeah, all good. We're just getting ready for this tour on starting on the 28th in Norwich.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about it. We've been in deep training, drinking pints, going to the pub, uh, running upstairs like in Rocky,
Yeah, it's all essential stuff for a tour.
Yeah, it is. You have to do it.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, it's obviously the last 2 years have been a bit of a, I think, politely putting it, a bit of a shit show.
total shit show.
What are you looking forward to most about the shows?
There is nothing I think that compares to actually just performing live. Like I don't think there's anything compares to it. The fact that every night is different and we don't really know what we're going to say, and now because we've been practicing with the band a bit more, we can throw in different songs that we haven't really played before with the band.
Yeah,
So that'll be great crack to be able to do that. But it's just performance. Live performance is amazing. It's
yeah,
our favorite thing to do, and nothing compares to it. So just it's worth all the traveling and eating disgusting sandwiches in between.
yeah. What's it like touring with your brother
Hell on earth. No, sometimes it's
though?
hell on earth. Sometimes it's nice. We actually surprisingly haven't been in as many rows as I would have liked. You know, but maybe it's for the sake of the rest of the band listening to it. When we were a three piece, it was a lot harder for Sean because he was on his own with
Yeah,
me and Andrew,
you get
and
in
he
the
used to
middle.
sit in the middle of the van,
Yeah.
and me and Andrew would be roaring at each other. But
Was that
no,
not
we're
a good
getting on
thing for
well
him
now
though?
at the moment, huh?
Was that not a good thing for him though? It gave you that kind of that deflector to kind of separate you both, or did it not work like that?
Well, it was probably not good for Sean.
Yeah.
If he ever tried to get involved, then we'd both turn on him. So
Yeah.
that was nice for him. But I'd say he's happier now that he has the rest of the band.
Brilliant. I mean, you've talked about the shows you're looking forward to the most. I mean, what can fans expect from the shows?
They're going to be rowdy.
Excellent.
It started in our first UK tour. People started crowd surfing, and it hasn't really changed since. There's only going to be more crowd surfing and more wildness like that. So you can expect it to be rowdy.
Brilliant. That's exactly what we need. That's and especially given the last 2 years, I think that's exactly what everybody needs at the moment.
Absolutely, us
Just coming up
included.
though, I mean, you spent prior to COVID, you spent several years touring Ireland. Did
Mm-hmm.
you ever think you'd play the National Stadium in Dublin? Is that because that's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, no, not with no, no. We've never thought that. We nearly were surprised that we became a band. For a long time,
Right.
because it was like a necessity to get free drink.
Yeah.
We were really poor. Not that we're rich now, but like when we hadn't any money, it
Yeah.
was a good way to get drink. So it's interesting that it's all very serendipitous.
Yeah.
That we've become a band. Very excited about the National Stadium. We didn't think we'd play Vicar Street last year, but let alone sell it out, But the
Yeah.
National Stadium is looking like it's going to sell out too. So
Wow.
bring it on,
Yeah.
bring it on.
I mean, what was your ambition? Like you said, you didn't think ever become a band. I mean, what was your ambition when you became a band?
Well, I suppose
Apart from free drinks.
free drink of one of them. No, I think whether we are broke or whether we're rich or whether we're standing up or sitting down, as long as we're able to play music comfortably,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter. Fame, anything like that, doesn't really matter to us at all. You know. So, like once we're like, if we had nothing, we'd still be playing music.
Yeah.
So that's the ambition. The ambition is to perform. That's the only ambition.
Right. I mean, does
You
that
know.
become more difficult? I mean, obviously you've got an album coming out and you're touring outside Ireland, you're touring Europe. There's obviously an expectation that comes with that. Does that change I don't want to use the word pressures, but change the kind of goalpost at all?
I suppose it doesn't change the goalpost for us, but of course there's pressure that comes with it, and I suppose you just have to roll with the punches that way. There is pressure, of course, but like we're lucky to have the pressure. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, I would say the great punches to take, touring outside Ireland, touring the UK, touring Europe.
Yeah, yeah, and the
Having an album
traveling is
out
class.
is
Like we love being in different places
yeah.
and getting surprised by how audiences react. Like we're going to be playing in places in the UK now that we've never even been to.
Okay,
You
no
know,
way.
so that's good. So we've never been to Sheffield, Norwich, Hull. Like there's so many places that we haven't been
Yeah.
to. So it'll be exciting to just see what it's like.
Brilliant. Okay, I mean, one of the things I've kind of read about the band and just from reading about you and listening to your music, there's a very strong DIY ethic in the band. Um, is that something that came from kind of growing up in Ireland or touring Ireland? Is that where that came from?
Yeah. Well, I suppose me and Andrew, especially, were brought up with a very DIY attitude because our father would have been very, if you can make anything, like he was constantly inventing stuff and building stuff. And we
Right.
grew up with that sort of attitude. If you
Yeah.
have something, fix it yourself, build it yourself, whatever. And that can be applied to anything, really. Like,
Yeah.
I think, and so like we applied it to loads of different things in our lives. And that's even why during COVID, when a lot of bands just stopped doing anything, we started doing live streams because you're used to thinking on your feet. Obstacles become kind of any obstacle is ordinary.
Yeah.
And you just see the strengths in it, I suppose. So yeah, and also you make all your own choices. That's
Yeah.
one of the best things.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, is that what drew you to punk? That kind of ethic?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it was. It makes total sense. Like it's always impressive, no matter the music, when people do stuff themselves and are responsible for stuff themselves. Like so, punk makes total sense.
Yeah.
That way.
Okay. I mean, going back to what I talked about earlier about the kind of pressures and everything, does it does it make it difficult to maintain that ethic when you've obviously got an album out and you're touring and there's I don't want to use the word professionalism, but there's a different level with it, whereas you don't get that with the
Yeah,
like with punk.
I
You still
suppose
can.
you have to you have to keep an eye on things. I think
Yeah,
more than anything, you know. I think we're not like we don't change personally at all.
yeah,
No matter what gig we're doing, if we're doing a gig to 2,000 people or 10 people, it's going to be the same gig, like pretty
yeah,
much. So, so I think just at the core of it, it's an honest band, and we don't. There's no frills, there's no
yeah,
lies in it, so it's very hard to like. We're not going to just start becoming dishonest
yeah,
about
yeah.
what matters to us and all that. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't think we have to worry about that too much.
No, it's
Just
great.
once we keep control of things, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, one of the things you've talked about the things that are important to you. I mean, family's obviously a big thing that's important to you. I mean, was music a big part of you growing up?
Yeah, definitely. Like our father found an accordion in a dump. He was working in a dump as a bulldozer driver and brought it home with him and taught himself how to play it. And then the first instrument me and Andrew learned was the accordion.
Right.
And it was a lot of singing in our house as well. Like it was more kind of singing sessions. But people would sing anything.
Yeah.
Kind of our sisters like would be singing songs and all that. And our sister Charlotte would sing like old Shanosy type songs to us. So we grew up listening to all that sort of stuff going on in the house and how everyone kind of has a party piece to do.
Yeah.
So from when we were very young, people were singing in the house.
Okay. Brilliant. I mean, just moving kind of to more recent things. I mean, you've said you're not afraid of discussing kind of political themes. Now,
No, not at all.
I grew up in the 80s when Ireland was I think a political hot potato is probably the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that inspiration come from living in Ireland?
Absolutely. Like we live on the border. You know,
Yeah,
all the music that we've ever listened to. People say stuff like, "Oh, why do they have to make things political? Why does music have to be about politics?" And
yeah,
to us, like, I struggle to think of any music I like that's not political or
yeah,
social in some way.
yeah,
Especially folk music and punk music.
yeah,
Hip hop is political.
yeah,
So they're all about social issues. So yeah, it's we live on the border, so you know, as far as we're concerned, the British still are in power up there. You know,
Yeah,
it's never actually ended.
yeah, yeah,
Any of this stuff, you know, it's never been over.
yeah,
So to a lot of people, even in Ireland, they'd go, "Oh, that was in the past," you know, and like, and a lot of the fighting was in the past. But you know, when you drive 5 minutes down the road and get a text message on your phone saying, "Welcome to the UK, Roman charges," you know, whatever,
yeah.
and there's no actual border or anything, you know, so
Yeah.
we, you know, it's all one island to us. So it's hard to not be political.
Yeah, I mean, is that inspired? So this because the songs on the album, I'm just looking down the track listing, building up and tearing England down, lots of little soldiers, the Knights, the Guards raided Owen East. Are
Yeah,
they all politically inspired songs? I mean,
there a lot of them are political. The Night the Guards Raided Onies is about the guards raiding a pub after being closed or after, you know, being open after hours or too long, you know, and it's a true story. We know only who ran the pub, and but they are all political songs. They're social and political.
yeah,
You know, they're I think they're first and foremost social a lot of the time.
yeah,
But you can't have one without the other.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, we're absolutely not afraid of being political or commenting on stuff, because if not, there's no point in us being a band.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things, like I said, you tour in Europe as part of the upcoming tours. Are there any particular countries or that have similar scenes that you've got that kind of connection with that you're looking forward to going out to?
Well, I'm looking forward to going to the Netherlands, and Germany will be interesting because the Germans had always had an interest in Irish folk music.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, so the Dubliners were like huge in Germany. So it'll be interesting to see what that's like. I think it'll go down well. Uh, just going and seeing. I have no expectations for what things are going to be like, you know, but I'm just excited about playing the gigs.
Yeah. What about the States? Is that in your kind of roadmap at all anytime soon?
It'll be it's in talks for next year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. I've never been to America before, but I'm looking forward to going.
Yeah, I remember going to. I remember I went to Vegas one year, and there was an Irish bar across the road, and it was just from the hotel, and it was just like being back in Ireland. It was like it was absolutely
you
perfect.
won't you won't be stuck for an Irish pub anywhere, any corner of the globe.
No,
They're everywhere.
absolutely, and that's never a bad thing.
Yeah, that's how the Irish take over the world. They infest it.
Okay, which leads into my next question. I mean, you're celebrating New Year's Eve with a show in Limerick.
Yes.
First of all, what's a standard New Year's Eve like in Limerick? What?
Well, I tell you what, I've been in New Year's Eve once or twice. I've been in Limerick once or twice for New Year's Eve, but this doesn't feel like it's going to be standard. I can feel already a vibe, like a low hum
Yeah,
of anticipation for it. It's going to be wild. Like
yeah,
Dolan's is an amazing venue, you know, and Mick who runs it, you know, the bouncers, you know, are great cracking. We know so many people down in Limerick. It has a very vibrant music scene, you know, with like post punk Podge, who's actually plays on our album as well a wee bit, and you know, there's so many bands down there, Hey Rusty and Cruiser and stuff like that. You know, her father's voice or his father's voice, and like it's just a great city. You know,
yeah.
I love it, and they're all wild down there. They know how to have fun. So I imagine it's going to be a very dangerous New Year's Eve
Expect the
with some way to
unexpected.
end the tour.
It's a good way to end a year, though. But
Yeah.
just on that note, though, I mean, there's obviously a fun element to the show, and like you said, the shows are going to be rowdy. But you did the live streams over the last 2 years. How difficult was that to not be able to replicate that energy and that rowdiness?
Um, I suppose they're two different things. Like the most important thing live streaming was to have it actually live and dangerous, and have communication live, instant communication with the audience watching, because
Yeah,
that's the closest you could do to making a live performance.
yeah,
But the live streams were as rowdy at times. You know, they got very rowdy at times, and
yeah,
the fact that people could talk to each other in the live chat room while they were watching it and could
yeah,
talk directly to us made it kind of, that was the main goal, you know,
yeah.
was to have it as live as possible,
Right.
because that's the exciting part. The exciting part about performing is not really knowing what might happen, you know.
Yeah.
So they're two different things, but I think it was great fun doing the live streams.
Okay. I mean, we've talked about expecting the unexpected. Has there ever been anything that's happened to you on stage where you've come off and thought, did that just happen?
We've had bras thrown on stage at us,
Okay.
which is interesting. I feel like, one of the Irish show bands groups. We've had our fiddle player doing a guest appearance jumped off the stage to crowd surf and was attached to his fiddle by a wire, and it pulled the fiddle across the stage and he broke it. Like, it's hard to actually anticipate. People jump up on stage sometimes and stuff like that. A lot of the time we've come off stage going, "Oh my god, that's mental." Our bass player spat on me the last time, Roisin, when we were on stage. She was spitting on me. I spat on her. It's good fun.
Good
Very
friendly family
COVID friendly
entertainment.
band.
And on that note, then, what about the rest of the Irish punk scene or the folk punk scene? Is there a lot of similar bands to you guys?
Yeah, well, definitely. Not maybe in so much in genre, but in attitude. There's a good group of us now that all share similar attitudes
Yeah.
and similar angers. Lankum, Junior Brother, Kneecap, Post Punk Podge, Jinx Lennon. There's like such great bands, and even in Dundalk, we have Jinx Lennon and Just Mustard, and it's a good place to be in the contemporary Irish music scene at the moment. It's brilliant, and it's a variety of stuff.
Yeah.
There's like drill from County Loud, the A92, they're called. They're amazing. There's just such a variety of music happening,
Like
and it's all quite, unapologetically Irish.
Right, that was a great thing, though. I mean, do they share a similar kind of ethic to you guys, a similar attitude?
Yeah, definitely. Like, everyone's kind of DIY.
Yeah.
Everyone's started by doing it themselves. So it's definitely like, it's just great. We all know each other and we all get on.
Brilliant. Okay, I mean, just going forward, then, have you obviously the album's out in a couple of weeks? Have you thought beyond that in terms of a second album or?
Yeah, we've already recorded demos for our second album.
Okay, brilliant.
So we'll be on that as quick as we possibly can, because it's been a while. Like, it's been a while us sitting on this album.
Yeah.
So we're already recording demos for the second.
Yeah. Is that something we can expect in 2023?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
You've talked about the States. I mean, what else have you got lined up?
We've got well, the main thing is we're gonna try and get that album recorded as quick as we can, and then when we have the second album, we're gonna go to America, which will be interesting. But I'd say we'll be doing more tours in Ireland and the UK and stuff like that. So we're excited about that.
Perfect, excellent. Well, thanks for your time. For anyone coming down to the shows, have you got any message for them?
Wear athletic style clothes, or clothes that you can sweat in, and also, if you have a glass with alcohol in it, don't throw the glass, but you can throw plastic cups. Bring good runners that you don't mind getting trampled on, and most of all, have fun.